Okay, we will speak about the two wars, Iranian war and the Ukrainian war. Donald Trump had this memorandum of misunderstanding because America was running out of mostly out of diesel and kerosene, and also fertilizer, things like that. Right? So Iran took advantage of that period where there was a ceasefire, and they had this. Also, the funeral. The funeral was very important, and Americans didn't get much diesel and kerosene. That is the sour crude. You have sweet crude and sour crude, right? Then Donald Trump started bombing. Then Saudi Arabia had when some plane came back with the delegations who went for the funeral from Yemen, Saudi Arabia bombed, and because of it is mentioned that because of the maneuvering of the pilot, the plane saw it. Then what? The Houthis did. The Houthis are the greater force on earth, not the Americans, not relatively speaking, not the Marines, not the Russians, not the Chinese, but they are the greater force on earth in a certain way. So they bombed but it's reported is they bombed the Saudi Arabia airport. They are very poor people, like the Houthis, because they have been subjected to bombing by Saudis and things like that. And then the Iranians were very furious because there was negotiations going between Saudi and Iran and Pakistan and so forth. So they bombed the airport and they bombed the oil terminal also. That is what he reported. Then Iranians asked Pakistani what the hell these Saudis are doing. Why are they, right? Now there is a report saying that Donald Trump has spoken to Putin because Donald Trump is running out of missiles, and see, Iran has to bomb 10 targets, and there are like certain bases. There are 2 bases in Jordan and 1 base at the 5th place, right? So Iran has fixed targets. That is, they have to keep bombing these American targets, right? So now this diesel and kerosene problem is still there for America, okay? And then you have this. Okay, Iran was using GPS earlier, 30 years ago. Now they are using the Baidu. So Baidu, when the GPS are used by Iran, it is mentioned that the CIA and the Mossad, and they used to manipulate the GPS. Now Iran is using Baidu. So Baidu means the targets are very accurate. So that is why some of these, if you take the West, especially if you take Israel, they are not. They are little bit hesitant to whack Iranian targets because Iran will whack these Israel targets accurately, unlike earlier. Israel करे GPS එක American system එකක්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට එතකොට ඒක manipulate කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් තියෙන්නේ Baidu එක. Baidu එක කියන්නේ Chinese එක. හරිද? ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඔය GPS එක අපේ මිනිස්සු පාවිච්චි කරනවානේ. GPS එකේ coordinates පොඩ්ඩක් එහෙම වෙනස් කරලා දැන් ඔයා ගානවා කිව්වොත් මේ කොහෙටද අපි මේ කොට්ටාවේ බස් ස්ටෑන්ඩ් එකට ගහනවා කිව්වොත් ඒක ගිහිල්ලා වදින්න පුළුවන් රේල්වේ ස්ටේෂන් එකට. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට මැනිපියුලේට් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒක. ඔයා ලොක් කරලා ගැවුවා. බයිඩු එක ගැවුවම මේක ෂුවර්. කොට්ටාවේ බස් ස්ටෑන්ඩ් එකට තමයි ගහන්නේ. මේ මම බස් ස්ටෑන්ඩ් එක ගහනවා කියන්නේ ඒ Iran doesn't use the GPS. අපේ රටේ දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඒ GPS එක යූස් කරා මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා දැනගන්න ඕනේ මේ this has been shown. එතකොට මේ ඔය කවුද if you take Elon Musk, his company is losing value, right? He had the IPO, initial public offer, the value is coming down, and some of the in Japan you have severe bankruptcy declared this year, right? So Japan also the Japan currency is falling apart. So America, Donald Trump is totally lost. So there will be, my understanding is, this is my guess, there will be intense bombing. ඉරානයට තියෙන්නේ අර ටාගට් 10ක් විතර තියෙන්නේ. තව ඊශ්‍රායලයේ ටාගට් තියෙනවා ඒවට ගහන්නේ නැහැ. ඊශ්‍රායලේ ගානකම් ගහන්නේ නැහැ. ගාපෙටි ගහනවා. හරිද? දැන් ඊශ්‍රායලයට මේගොල්ලෝ ගහනවා හිස්බුල්ලයි යෙමනේ ගහනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඊශ්‍රායලේ ගොඩක් මැල්ලත කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. ඉතින් දැන් ඉරානේ අයි මිනිස්සු අහනවා ඉරානේ ඊශ්‍රායලට ගන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. ගැව්වොතින් ගහනවා. ඒ ටාගට්ස් ලොක් කරලා තියෙන ඔක්කොම. So my understanding is that the war will intensify and through Putin there will be some kind of negotiations, right? And there is a 1% or 2% or 3% chance there could be a beginning of the end of the two wars. If Putin is dominating, if Donald Trump has gone to Putin, because here is no option. ඇමරිකාට මිසයිල්ස් නැහැ අරවත්මත් නැහැ. එතකොට දැන් සමහර ප්ලේන්ස් තියෙනවා ඒව තමයි ටැංකර්ස්. ඒව තමයි මේ ෆුවල් ගෙනියන්නේ. මොකද සමහර වෝ ප්ලේන්ස් වලට වැඩි ඉදුර යන්න බෑ. You have to refuel them mid there. So some of the planes are in Israel. Some of the American oil tankers are there. Now Israel thinks that Iran might back this Air Force targets in Israel. So some Iranian official has asked America to remove this K-45s or K-35s. We call it military planes, right? We call them tankers. And then Donald Trump has spoken to Netanyahu. Then Israel parliament is right? So they are going to have elections in October. So things might change. So that means Chinese have changed the whole. They have changed the whole outlook by using the Baidu instead of using GPS. Right? It has changed the whole way they look at Israel buy Iran buy. Because Israel is Gano Iran. So there is this is my understanding, right? There is a 3-4% chance or 2% chance that after about 10 days, there will be there will be path towards resolution of both concepts, conflict, Iranian conflict, and the Ukraine conflict. You can't trust the Americans. They will give you promise something. So there could be an opening for some kind of negotiations, but don't trust the Americans, right? The Russian president Maranna CIA gave drones. Anueka. Then mass duration. එතකොට ඒක ගත්තා ඒ drones සමහරව they took Russians took it down and they took all the ships and චිප් එක දුන්නා ඇමරිකාවේ එම්බසි එකට ගිහුවා උඹලා මේවා ඒවා අපි දන්නවා. So Putin knows that using Ukraine, especially the British and the Americans were trying to kill President Putin when he was having a meeting. Right? Putin knows it, knows all this. Right? They gave the evidence to the American embassy and they said, we know what we are trying to do because ඔය චිප් එකේ තියෙනවානේ චිප් එකෙන් කියන්න පුළුවන් කොයි රටේද ඇදුවේ මොකද්ද ඒක එම්බැසි කොයි ගොඩක් කරලා මෙන්න මේ intelligence එක තමයි සම්බන්ධය. So there is some possibility the oil prices have gone up. American stock market is coming down mainly because of AI industry and also this Elon Musk SpaceX or something. The value has come down, right? There is some, when it comes to SpaceX, there are insurmountable obstacles to putting on these satellites, right? So there is a possibility that the war will intensify and after about 7 or 10 days there could be some kind of pause. But the Iranians are very furious. But Russians and Chinese have certain kind of, because the Russians and Chinese are helping Iran, they have some kind of defense pact with this Iran. They can influence the Iranians. So there is a possibility that there could be ceasefire in about 10 days. And there is a small opening for resolution of these ceasefire, these wars. But I don't trust, because I don't trust the Americans.